Hey guys, hope you're having a good day. So today we're going to do a technical analysis on Yuriy Sedykh, the world record holder. I feel I'm going to do a video on his an 82 meter throw that he did. Thank you to @throwhammer for providing this video. And if you guys don't know who he is, again, he's the world record holder. He's the GOAT. I think he's pretty much undisputed. Like the distances he threw, like I don't even care if he was on roids or what. I don't give a crap. Like he's the GOAT. I mean, in his world record series, I think the lowest throw he had was like 84 meters in the entire series. I don't. I think this might be this or the men's jav record might be the most untouchable ones. I would say jav a little more, but there's only been two people in history to ever throw 86 meters, and that's Sergey Litvinov, which will be next week, and Yuriy Sedykh, and they both threw it at the competition in the European Championships, and I think it was 86. So it's on YouTube, that full series, that full competition, just them just going back and forth like 84, 85, 86, 86, 80, like it's arguably the best competition you'll ever see between like two people. 2005 World Champs was personally my favorite. Between Witowski and Yuri, Ivan Tikhon. But like this it's like tied for me. I go back and forth, but I mean it's just insane the distances they're going like one after the other, and it's astonishing. And both those competitions, it's two teammates going at each other too, because they're both Soviet Union and Belarus. So it's insane. But I'm not gonna go over the long list of accomplishments and all that, because this isn't an underrated thrower video in that series. So you guys could just look it up. But he's the GOAT pretty much. Like it's kind of hard to beat what he's done for the sport. And he was coached by the great Anatoly Bondarchuk, who recently passed away a week or two ago, and RIP to him. I've done a video on him as well. And just, the godfather to modern hammer throwing. A lot of modern styles of lifting that throwers do is because of him. And, I think he's most well known. And granted, he was a good thrower in his own right. I made a video about him. He's an over 80 meter hammer thrower as well. But he's famous for coaching the Soviet team during this time, Yuriy Sedykh and Litvinov. So, yeah. And, later on, helped with, Ethan Katzberg. Dylan Armstrong's his coach, but, Dylan Armstrong also 22 meter silver medalist at World Champs and for shot put. And, yeah, also coached by Anatoly Bondarchuk. But, yeah, just wanted to get that before we get that. So, RIP to the absolute legend. We lost an absolute GOAT of the sport recently. So, I just want to say rest in peace, But on a lighter note, let's get on to this technical analysis. So, let's just play this. So he's a three-turner, and it's actually astonishing that he even broke the world record on a three-turn. That just shows you the level of explosiveness he has. Let's watch it one more time. I mean, you can just see, right off the bat, that first turn. That's why I say, three-turners and glides are kind of one and the same, because you got to have a really powerful initial start. You don't have the luxury for the spin to going a little slower out the back, or the four-turn of, that first turn doesn't have to be insane. You can use it to, set yourself up a little. But with a glide and a three-turn, you gotta go, because you don't have that luxury. So, and he does a really good job of that, obviously. So let's see. Let's go. So he starts his wind. Very, very nice. Hands tight to the head. As you notice, he's not on the side of his head when he goes. He has the wire and the handle right above his head. Right there. All right. Right there. And he's keeping it pretty tight. And what you usually see nowadays is people tend to wind more out here. However, he's not doing that because he's a 3-turner. So he's establishing a higher high point with his winds because he's going to need a higher high point on his first turn compared to a 4-turner. And I've said this multiple times in all my hammer throw videos pretty much, is that for a 4-turn, there are exceptions to the rule, like a Koji or a Keyboy Johnson or something. But for the most part, 4-turners are pretty flat on their first turn in terms of an orbit. But for 3-turners, you want to establish a high point pretty much immediately. And he does a fantastic job of that with his winds. So that's why he's not like a little more out here. He's establishing more of this rather than this. All right, because he's going to want to get that high point up here by his first turn. Let me erase that. All right, so he gets here. Now he's starting to initially start. So you notice he pushes in, sits back, gets a little bit more, gets over his left, and just look how patient he is. Now he doesn't, and he's actually starting pretty wide too. That's actually, usually hammer throwers, they start a little narrower. Like this would be like a setup I would say is like good for like shot put and discus, like a little wider than shoulder width apart. You don't see very many hammer throwers start like this because it's very easy to just spin around and sweep. But to each his own. Everyone's comfortable in different positions. So you notice he doesn't actually start turning his feet until the hammer gets with his knee and like belly button, somewhere around there. It's hard to tell because of the quality of this video, but it was filmed in like the 80s, so. Alright, now he's here. Sits back hard. Look at the counter he has on this first turn. Like, that's insane. Now, if you notice, he's not fully extending this left knee. It's still bent a little. But he's just, oh my God, that's insane. And if you also notice how much he's reaching forward with this. So he's sitting back. So this is a perfect counter right here. Slightly curved back, really sitting back. All right, like look how low he is right here. This is just a first turn. This is why he's the world record holder right here. Is because, like, for a 3-turner and just really anybody, like, to be this low and like this sat back on a first turn is insanity. And the level of strength you have to have and patience and technical and like just feel of the hammer for this is it's not achievable by like 99.9% of people on planet Earth. Like this is just insane position. And like I know if I did this, I'd just fall completely. I don't even think I could get into this position. Like yeah, it's just, man, that's insane. But if you notice, so his back isn't arched. There's a slight curve, but it's strong. So if you notice here, the low back to the butt, that's straight. But then he has a slight curve here because he's letting the hammer long. All right, so you don't want a completely arched back because then you're going to get tight and start pulling backwards and you're going to lose a counter and you're just going to start pulling and using more upper body. You want to stay loose with this upper body. Loose, but like still stable and strong. So you don't want to be like a wet noodle, but you still want to be relaxed. While back here, so like there and down is strong, like a brick wall. It's not tight, but it's strong, immovable object. And that's what you want. That's what you want to feel right here. So look at that. So if you notice, his high point is, let's see. Let me get a straight line. Is like here. It's like somewhere around here. That's pretty high for a 4-turner. You do see some that do that, but you have to be super good at that. Like super good and super strong counter to do that. So that's why a lot of people don't do that. Even at the pro level. And but for a 3-turner, it's very important you establish a higher high point because realistically, a 3-turner's first turn is like a 4-turner's second turn, pretty much. So you want to have the orbit you would have on like a second turn and a 4-turn, pretty much. if that makes sense. So he gets here, and just look at this knee. Oh my God, that's such a beautiful catch. So it catches there, really, really nice. So he doesn't catch late. He catches just a little bit before 90, right there. So now he can work all the way around again and double support. So it's very important. You want the hammer to get your left foot down. So you don't want to just step with your left foot. All right, because then you get disconnected with the ball and you start twisting. You never want to twist. All right, you want the hammer to move you, and you are the immovable object that is spinning around the hammer. All right, but you never want to like twist your hips and do weird stuff like that, because then you start moving faster than the ball. All right, and he does a fantastic job of that. So he gets here, lands flat foot, very, very nice. And then now he starts to sit back again. You notice as the ball gets lower, he gets higher, and then the complete opposite. So you'll see that when we get to his high point right there. And the hammer is on his knee pretty much right there. And just look at that. Oh my God, that counter right there is astonishing. Ugh. Good golly. So as you notice, now he's getting a little bit higher. So as the ball gets higher, you notice now he's starting to sink under. And you want to think of the sink as like you're driving under a clean or a snatch. That pull under. That's another reason why Olympic lifts are so important, especially for hammer throwers, because it's that same feeling, all right, that you don't just like step under the bar. You lower yourself under the bar. So you kind of pull yourself under it, and it's that same kind of feeling here where you're in one place, but you move under the ball pretty much. So you just sink your whole body under the ball. All right, and if you notice, he tilts his head a little like this. That's just something that just happens when you're exhibiting this much kind of force. Your head will just naturally just like turn a little. I still don't quite understand why. So I'm not gonna speak that much on it. Just know it's not like a wrong thing to do. You see it a lot with like really like 75 plus meter hammer throwers, even 70 plus meter hammer throwers. When you're exhibiting like that much force, like your head just tilts a little, and I think it's because of the force, the direction of the forces that you're putting onto the implement. I think that's what I was told by a really, really good hammer coach. That also was a 74 meter hammer thrower as well. So he gets here, very, very nice catch. Position gets higher, and if you notice, so the hammer is slightly behind him. Oops. Right here. Not really. So he is having it in line with his right knee instead of his belly button, which is fine. I've explained this multiple times. I prefer the belly button just a little. However, when you're going these speeds, it will slightly bias your right knee if you're a right-handed thrower. And if you notice, he's here. His shoulder... Oh, let me back up a frame. His shoulder never goes up. His left shoulder. It stays flat the entire time. All right, so he's kind of making a triangle here. And I made a video about this before. Several videos about this, actually. You want to keep this triangle. All right, so you never want it, like, one side to be higher than the other. So you never want, like this and this. Like, you never want that. I know that's not really a triangle, but you never want your left shoulder to go high. You want everything to be flat here. You never want your shoulders to, like, go up and down really like this. All right? So if you are doing that and you, like, watch yourself in a video, that means you're probably you are pulling the hammer. Not probably. You are pulling the hammer with your left shoulder. All right? So you need to stop that and get that under control. So you can do, like, single hand throws. You can do a bunch of other, like, drills. I would watch. There's a video series that Judd Logan did, another really really famous hammer thrower and coach that sadly passed away like a couple years ago as well. But he has a series on YouTube, and just type in like Judd Logan hammer throw, and he has like some drills to have you like stop pulling and stuff. It's better like to watch these drills than me just trying to explain them, because they won't make any sense really unless you like actually see them. It's hard to describe a drill just over a video without you like seeing it, but just go ahead and watch that. Or I have videos and stuff, me demonstrating like stuff you can do to not pull the hammer as well. But he gets here. Let's get back to the video. He gets here. And just look at that counter right there. That sit back. He is so low in the hammer. Oh, sorry, in the knees. And so down. Like, the position he is in is crazy. But that's kind of what you not kind of. You have to be that low. When the hammer's that high and you're going that fast. So, you got to do a lot of single leg stuff, a lot of front squats, a lot of stuff like that when you throw a hammer. So if you're a hammer thrower and you're not doing like a lot of single leg stuff or a lot of front squats, start doing them. They're super important. They're important for basically all the throwing events, but especially hammer. You got to be good at a single leg squat. And like like front foot elevated squats and like rear foot elevated squats and stuff like that. So that's another tip for you guys out there. So if you know it, so here, let's go back to the catch. So catch is pretty deep. Like he grounds here. So he actually lands toe first, then puts the heel down. And he didn't really do that for the other turns. I don't know why he did that. Because usually, you land pretty much the same every turn, but whatever. It's a comp video. I don't know if he does that for a specific reason or just this throw. It's hard to tell because when he threw, the video quality of these videos are, as you can tell, weren't the best. So it's hard to like pick out fine details of a throw like that. This one is just super apparent. But he's here, super high. And when he gets here, he turns, he's over the left side. And it looks like he could do another turn here. And that's what you want. Alright, so you want to feel like you can do another turn. But instead of actually doing the turn, you just let it go. So it's important you don't like huck it with your arms. You just let go of the hammer. When, like, it would be like at its high point pretty much. So the hammer realistically is already out of his hand here. Pretty much. And then you're going to see the follow through there. The hands above his head. Very, very nice. And just look at that. And so he's super long here. Letting it out there. Very, very nice. I mean, obviously. There isn't really anything bad to say about this throw because, one, it's an 82-meter throw. So obviously it's good technically. And two, he's a world record holder. What am I going to say that's wrong about his technique, really? There is some stuff I don't agree on. I already made a short about this, about like landing with the toe first. And then the flat foot. I prefer just landing on a flat foot, but whatever. What am I going to do? Say he's wrong? Again, I even stated in that video that I made about that, like, everyone's different. So if you feel more comfortable and you're not just spinning around and, like, you can actually, like, do the throw correctly, landing like that, who cares, really, how you land if it doesn't really negatively affect your throw. And that goes for basically anything, really. If it doesn't negatively impact your throw and it's not, like, impacting your distance, go ahead and do like a weird quirk that makes you feel comfortable, because if you're comfortable with a technique, you're able to repeat a technique. All right, and that's more important than just looking pretty or looking like a textbook throw. All right, so he gets here, And yeah, just reverse it. Sorry, releases, not reverses. Um, and yeah, again, like, I don't really know what else to say. He's just doing everything perfectly. I don't really know what else I can say. I mean, there's like super like minute things. Like, do I think he could have been a little more patient here? I think his left shoulder got like a little high here. And then he corrected it on the third turn. But I mean, like, yeah, he went like a little high, but like, I guess. But I mean, that's technically wrong. But I mean, when you're again, this is also a competition throw. It's not gonna be the prettiest throw in the world, even though this is a very pretty throw. And it's not gonna be the most technically sound throw in the world compared to like a practice throw. And also, when you're going these speeds, you're just kind of like along for the ride, and you just have to hang on for dear life, pretty much. So, like, I just want you to look at how hard he puts in that first turn. Come on, there. Look at that, right there, like that. That's like most people's fourth turn. That's most people like turn on and then release is that speed right there. Like, that's just astonishing. Sorry, I'm just geeking out. But yeah. Anyway, if you don't know that much about him, he's the world record holder, like Olympic champion, world champion. He's got all sorts of medals and accomplishments. The first person ever to throw it 86. Actually, did Litvinov do that before him in this comp? Oh, no, he did. I think he did, actually. Yeah, I think Litvinov actually did. And then, yeah. I'd recommend watching that comp, too. It's still the European record to this day, obviously. And, yeah. Other than that, thank you for watching. I hope you guys learned something. And see y'all later. Bye.